Hey guys, John Loxa here, back with our blind playthrough of Tacoma. What are you doing, Jack? What are you doing? Moving the microphone around. He's doing the face rub against everything, so he's walking around, rubbing himself on the microphone boom, on the mouse, on the speakers. Just chill out, kitten. Chill out, Jack. What are you doing? It's funny, I don't remember which playthrough. I think it was Dark Souls 3, because that one went on for a few months, actually. By far the longest playthrough I've ever done. You know, up to this date. I mean, to be fair, I've only been doing this about a year. And I took 2 to 3 months off, kind of, you know, a few months in, because I was playing Path of Exile, and I wanted to, this is going to sound weird, I wanted to burn out on it. Because you know how when you play a game and you finish it and you still get that urge to go back and play more? That's what I was feeling, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to, this next league, I'm just going to burn out. I'm just going to play it and only it for like 3 months, and I'll burn out on it. And then I won't have to worry about it, and that's what I did. And I didn't make any videos for the channel during that time. And I think I was, like, I even had, I was doing the Shin Megami Tensei Prologue Synchronicity playthrough. And I'd finished it, but I hadn't uploaded the last episode. Like, that's where I stopped. So I felt like kind of a dick for that. But, you know, so took a few months off. So really I've been doing this for, you know, or making videos for 9 months of the time. But anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent there. The point was that was the longest series by far. And during some of those episodes, Jack decided that he wanted to rub his face against the microphone. And I think I mentioned it, and like right before I say it, you could hear like this rubbing sound. And so there you go. That's a Easter egg, I guess. It's not. It's not. It's like that's my Easter eggs. You know, I'm a mediocre channel with mediocre Easter eggs. So there you go. Okay. She's got bad news. Roberta Williams. Blood pressure 140/90, so she has pre-hypertension. What are you doing, Jack? Let go of that microphone. Or headphone cord. Genetic filtering signatures, standard immunoantiviral schedule A through C, addictive substance resistance 4, anti-carcinogenic filter series A, menstrual suppression, blood type tailoring, global allergen filter UNAC standard. That would be nice for me. Telomere degeneration filter Omega Plus. Interesting. So they get like age slowing? I guess that's what that would be. Cryogenic stasis risk factors none. Cryogenic stasis viability analysis. So she's a little bit overweight. And despite what you have heard, or what you may think with quote-unquote common knowledge, slightly overweight people, she has high blood pressure or pre-high blood pressure. So she's probably not great, but the people with, you know, normalish everything and a little bit extra fat do better long term as far as survivability goes. Patient exhibits no physical symptoms, might lead to injury or death following cryogenic stasis or revival. Physicians should proceed with cryogenic procedures as appropriate. Okay. Where's the bad news? She has a heart problem. 23. Wow, she's skinny. Blood pressure is good. Genetic filtering. Heart murmur. Probable mitral stenosis. Patient exhibits clear signs of cardiovascular abnormality, heart murmur. That's not an actual medical term. This condition represents severe risk of death during the cryogenic revival process. Expected probability of survival for patient under this treatment is 18%. Patient is not recommended for cryogenic stasis. Physicians should consider alternative methods of treatment. Well, the likelihood of anyone surviving if they fail, you know. Why does he walk like that? I mean, why are his arms out to the side like that? Walking like he's all swole. Maybe he does. He hits the gym, right? No, that was I mean, he does, but that was Clive. That was like the football guy. Standard immuno antiviral schedule A/B anticarcinogen. Wait, did I read hers? Yes. It didn't really have that because it had those warnings instead. Standard immuno antiviral schedule A/B anticarcinogenic filter series A, selective allergen filter UNAC standard 2030, vision schedule 1, telomere degeneration filter gamma. Interesting, so he's going to age faster? I mean, that makes sense because he's older. Cryogenic stasis risk factors, none. Cryogenic stasis viability analysis. Patient exhibits no physical symptoms that might lead to injury or death following cryogenic stasis or revival. Physician should proceed with cryogenic procedures as appropriate. Okay, cool.
Unlike in a lot of popular fiction, our version of cryogenic stasis is not something you can do long term. It's not like in Alien where you just kind of are out for a few years and wake up in some star system.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's more realistic.
Much more unstable and short term than that.
Yeah. You're in cryo so that you can get to surgery, but not so that you can just be preserved for an indefinite amount of time. Yeah. What we're seeing in the crew medical charts that are here in the exam room is the idea that most people in the situation of the crew is in, if they had to go into cryo for, you know, a couple or a few days, they would probably be fine. But part of that, in the case of the crew of Tacoma, is that most people in developed countries in our fiction get a selection of gene filtering procedures done to them, like in utero. And it's sort of along the lines of people getting vaccines now, but it's being able to tweak people's genes to make them not be susceptible to certain congenital illnesses or you know, other conditions. But when you look at these charts, it turns out that Nat never had any gene filtering done, and so because of her condition, it makes it much, much more dangerous for her as an individual.
Yeah, I think we figured out that mitral stenosis would be a particularly dangerous condition to have if you were going to be basically hypothermic for long periods of time. That's actually like a real danger, so...
I don't know, actually. I'm going to have to write that down and look into that. I never... you know, so occasionally they do something called therapeutic hypothermia after, like, you know, say a heart attack or cardiac arrest, typically where you require CPR. That is something where they almost put you into like a low-level coma for, you know, a day or two to give your body a chance to, you know, it slows your metabolic processes and, you know, kind of slows the damage. And that helps long term. But yeah, I don't know. Mitral stenosis. Stenosis means like, it means the valve has less of an opening. The opening has kind of, like when pipes narrow, it's kind of the same thing. It's like the valve itself doesn't open as well. It's either like a congenital defect that you're born with, where the valve is not quite as open, or you know, it can actually calcify and stick together over time. But usually that's not a She's young. That shouldn't happen, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. Cryo. I have a little notepad near my keyboard that I write stuff down on, and I'm at the point where I need to flip the page because it is just covered. It is covered in chicken scratch, basically. Who let the chicken in here? I don't know. But, it must be pretty stealthy because Manny and Jack would totally have eaten it. I was the chicken. I was the chicken the whole time. It was me. There's her little suit hazmati. Okay, let's go into the bathroom. Don't ask me why. No mirrors. No one has mirrors. And why do you have a glass for your toothbrush? Well, that's a non-futuristic toothbrush. What happened? What are we, low-tech? What are you, poor? You know, the sad thing is that's like almost identical to the toothbrush that I use. You know, I think mine's a little fancier. It has like extra stuff along the sides here. But, you know, only the best for me. Only the best, highest quality toothbrush.
So this book here is actually written by an AI, one of the major Venturas AIs.
Oh.
Fand, who's in charge of Kiribati City-State. Fand is really the only other positive, successful seeming AI that acts the most human in our fiction. She's written this book here about how she came to, reorganize her domain.
But it's also kind of like a philosophical book about mindfulness, which I think is a really interesting aspect of consciousness for an AI to be thinking about and to become an authority on. This book was something that Carla put together. We had agreed that we were like, we should have a book that was written by an AI to show more of what different AIs are in our world, so it doesn't just seem like it's Odin.
Yeah.
And then
right?
I guess there's other AIs, but to actually have some examples. And so this was Carla's version of what is an interesting additional perspective for an AI to represent. And I thought this almost like enlightened Buddhist seeming perspective that this AI presumably has developed over years and years of observation and kind of examining its own ways of working and how people relate to each other and stuff, felt like a legitimate thing that could happen with the concept of AI, but definitely not something that we had seen anywhere else within our fictional world.
So I think true AI, like actual self-awareness, is probably impossible, because that, or they would almost immediately kill themselves, right? Because my thought is, we were organic first, so we operate on instinct, and the survival instinct is the strongest. A purely logical being does not have the organic components that wish to survive. It's got microchips and silicon, and all that stuff isn't, there's no iteration where it came from earlier organisms or earlier things that all they wanted to do was survive. And so that's why I think AI, true self-aware, actually intelligent AI, is probably not a real... It's probably impossible. But you never know. I mean, you'd have to skip all those steps. You'd have to go straight to like super advanced AI that would eventually become self-aware. Although you could argue, like, are we actually self-aware? Because we're a collection of algorithms as well, right? I mean, we're not aware of the individual cells that we're made up of. So, who knows? Who can say? Who can say? What I can say is that Jack is super happy right now in my lap. He's just kind of chilling. One of his arms is hanging off the side. His tail's flopped over the other side and just kind of twitching a little bit as I pet him on the head. He is very happy. Very happy. Let's listen to more of this, and then I think that'll probably do it. Our, AI download is probably done at this point. I have a sneaking suspicion you just watch all the AR stuff, and then you're done.
So this is one question I have, because I don't remember how we got to it, but there was a lot of iteration on the design of the AR desktops, but what we settled on was kind of the horseshoe icons, which I think came from you. The horseshoe bat.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
we started out with the earliest versions of it being a grid of screens almost that would pop up in front of the player's vision.
That felt kind of disorganized, so we brought things in for a short time to make it kind of like a taskbar at the bottom, which I think a lot of people are used to, which is why we went that way. A lot of phones, a lot of desktops use that.
And also that wasn't using the player's visual field, really. It was just still behaving like a flat computer screen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we did the strange decision of sort of bending it into a horseshoe shape so that it could surround the center of the player, or I guess character's visual field.
Instead of having it function like an actual phone where you have to look at it, the AR desktop takes advantage of the fact that it's actually in the world in front of you. You're not holding anything. You don't have to look down at an object. It can just be in your peripheral vision and you can look from side to side at it.
It is partially a realistic usage scenario and partially also so that the player could actually see the world while looking at it. And yes, it makes a horseshoe bat.
Agreed with most of it. I think how it is now is ugly, though. I don't think this is actually... It would occupy... this is their actual field, right? The horseshoe squares. But what I would imagine, if you're going to implement this in the future with Google Glasses or whatever, right, is you have the upper corners right here. That's kind of your extraneous information, like your weather, your whatever. And then kind of along the bottom, like they mentioned with the taskbar and stuff, kind of your general use things. So your far upper corners are kind of your or maybe even here, right? Because within, this would be your peripheral vision, but this would be your frontal vision, right? So you'd want it to be in the upper sides of your frontal vision. Kind of I can't do it here, but if you're looking at a screen, the upper right and left corners, that's how you would place your temperature, your weather, your whatever. And then here at the bottom where it's like this, right? Hold space to restart, QE space to control the speed and the rewind and all that stuff captured 3 months ago. All that stuff, the bar that we have here on our screen currently, that's where you would put your actual stuff, I would think. One of the things I studied in college was design. And so, specifically interface design. So, I mean, don't ignore, yes, this is good and this is artsy, but let's be honest, the design that we've accomplished in all our time of playing computer games and video games and stuff, that's how it'll probably work out. Because yes, it is a 3D thing around us, but in reality we see in 2D, kind of. I'm not explaining myself properly, but yes, if you display a little bar in the bottom, of your icons or whatever, that would probably work. And then you have your random, not super important stuff in the upper right and left corners of your vision, not going to the peripherals. You know, your peripheral stuff you would reserve for, say, threat warnings, like when you're driving. You're driving and all of a sudden, like, it flashes, like, the whole peripheral side on your right flashes. And that means, like, someone's trying to pull into your lane, and you're there. And so it's like, holy shit, something needs your attention right now. Turn your head to look. Your, you know, spider sense, if you want to be like Spider-Man or whatever. There is a threat from this side. You know, something like that. It's not perfect. It would require some updates and stuff. But it's interesting. I mean, they're onto something. They're definitely onto something. But let's pull this up. This is shit. This is you're not utilizing your frontal vision, which is the most. You have to turn your head to read stuff. That's silly. Put it up in front. That way when I turn my head, it goes with me until I close it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Sarah ends up being kind of the Ellen Ripley character of the game, but she didn't start as that character when we were writing the game. We really started from who the characters were and what their roles were, and then fit them into a plot. And I think that as we were going along, by getting to know Sarah, we realized that she made the most sense to be the person who would, in a way, kind of like team up with Odin to pull off this plan in the end.
Yeah, no one else's relationship with Odin is really as personal at all. Like, even Nat, whose job it is to work with him, you know, she treats him as a project a little bit, you know, or a pet, and it's just not
or a problem to solve, or a system. It was interesting for us to get a feel for Sarah and kind of realize she has a kind of like boldness to her and a determination to her, even if she also has these internal struggles with like anxiety and everything. And we discovered that she's the kind of person that if she was put into this kind of like high pressure do or die situation, she would just do her best to do it, you know. She would kind of rise to that occasion, and she ends up being the only person that can do that. And I think we get to see how she follows through.
Okay. Every little commentary thing, I respect Fulbright Studios more and more. Seriously, that is not bullshit. Oh my god. Characters. Oh, it's amazing. Like, seriously. It's like a character-driven story. They create the character, and then I mean, you heard it, right? They're like, you know, the character. As we got to know the character more and more, we decided that this would be. It's like the character is the one that's writing the story. So you have, from what I understand, for different types of stories, you have the character-driven story, and then you have the event-driven. And the event-driven is by far the worst, because typically what happens in a story is, in an event-driven, things happen to the characters, and the characters are static. They are one-dimensional, you know, stereotypes, cookie cutter, whatever. And so you know, it's the whole Deus Ex Machina, like you're playing a game and all of a sudden something happens, you're like, that wouldn't happen, that's such bullshit. Why did that happen? It's because the author or the writer or the developers, they were like, well, we need to have this happen. We need to figure out how to get our characters from here to there. So let's have, we'll have a message come in of an emergency that happens. So they create events that drive the story forward rather than the characters driving the story. You know, and you hear like really good authors, like if you ever read the author's notes after reading like a really good book, you'll see this where they basically say, well, you know, I was going to take the story in a different direction, but the character was what drove it. You know, the character I knew would do this instead, and so that's what took the story in that direction. Man, it is amazing. These guys are they're on point. You guys are on point. Especially, also, I noticed this. Andrew was giving away the little orchid samples or whatever. And since they're in a relationship, she took one. Presumably. I mean, she might actually like orchids, so it might be a win-win, but you know. Hi, Sarah. So glad somebody wanted one of these beautiful orchids. Was she the only one? I didn't notice them on anyone else's desk. Remember, not too much water, and just ask if you need guidance or upkeep. Plant care tips. I'm here to help. -A. Which is actually code for asshole. I mean Andrew. No, but seriously, the developer commentary, holy shit, this is the best thing, like, ever. So I gotta say, this game is $20. It might actually be worth it. It might actually be worth it. Like, Gone Home, I know, was $20. And they were like... I remember that being a total fucking disaster because they were like, you could beat it in 42 seconds. Like, I literally saw a speedrun of beating the game in 42 seconds. And what is this? Data process. Oh, hey, that's handy. Attention, subcontractor, Ferrier. Data process is complete. Pay attention, you slacker. What are we paying you for? Huh? Stop slacking on the job. Earn your $2 an hour wage in loyalty credits. But no, it might actually be worth it. This game, I mean, where are you going, Jack, baby? Oh, he wants to go somewhere else. We're having such a good time. Oh, it's dark in here now. Okay. But Gone Home, I know, like, people were able to speedrun it in like 42 seconds. Excuse me, it's starting to get late, and I've recorded, this is the 5th episode recorded today. Like, that's how much I'm interested in this game. Like, straight up. I've done nothing but play this game all day. For the last 4.5 hours, or 5.5 hours, or something like that. That's where we're at. So, you know, $20 might be worth it. Might be worth it. Gone Home, I don't know about, though. It's not the same crew exactly. I'm sure it's different people, extra, you know, probably less people than our current team. And, you know, let's be honest, it's their first game, so it's probably not the most technically competent. They probably did stuff in that one that they improved upon in this. So I know that one was $20 as well, and that one might not be worth it. But at the same time, I also can't say whether it's worth it or not, because I haven't played Gone Home. This one, though, this one is good. Why am I drifting around? Okay. Let's see. Someone tried to wipe all the AR crew records from the station, but a few couldn't be deleted. System shows the ones left behind were being accessed at the time of the wipe. Luckily, even with the attempted data wipe, Odin appears to be mentally intact, just dormant. Is he dormant? Because we interacted with him. We're close to having a full picture of the data structure. So someone tried to wipe Odin? Is that what happened? Do I even have a helmet? I know they said, like they said, see, that's clever too, right? It's kind of pulsing there, like it's something. What if I close this? Will it still show up? No. But it's pulsing again. Okay. No, I mean, when I was in the shuttle, I didn't see her take a helmet off. She kind of released the straps, I assume from the chair. But I don't know. Also, seriously, Fulbright. Okay, do me a favor. This is not bullshit. Reach out to unknown worlds and slap them in the face. I don't mean like as a punishment, I mean to wake them up. Because they are fucking up with the new Subnautica. Like, seriously, you guys, Fulbright, you guys, just by this commentary, I can tell you guys know what you're doing. Or at the very least, that you've seriously thought about it. And yet, Subnautica, the first one, did so well and was so amazing. And then we go to the second one, and it shows... I don't even know. I don't even know what they're doing. It is just so sloppy and poorly put together. And I know, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm gonna apologize in advance. You're both kind of in the same SJW progressive camp, right? You know, I don't mean that to demean anybody, but I could tell, okay? So, Unknown Worlds, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know, it seems like they didn't learn anything about the basics of storytelling, about, you know, establishing a narrative or anything. Like, you play I played the new Subnautica, the early access, like 4 hours of it, and it's terrible. Like, you know, I wrote a how I would change the opening using the existing assets to make it more significant. That'll probably never see the light of day, to be honest. I still have all the stuff, but I'm probably never going to do anything with it. I'm probably, who knows? But it's like you could tighten up that beginning. You could tighten it up and make it good. But I don't know what they're doing. Seriously, if you, I don't know, reach out or don't actually, because, you know, they're gonna, hell, offer to consult. You know, be like, hey, for X amount of dollars, we'll consult with you. We'll help you tighten up, because you guys seem like you know what you're doing. I'm gonna be straight up. You guys have tons of my respect. They do not. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Okay. We have a new message. Proceed immediately to the engineering module. Once AI data is transferred from all module, you must also secure and return the AI's physical processing medium. The latter requirement is of the highest priority. Physical processing medium? What the hell is that? I don't know. Return to hub. That's where we're going. We're out. Okay. We have... That's all of them, right? Yeah. All the commentary we have received. Okay, we're probably going to see ad number 3, maybe. Or maybe ad number 3 will be going to the other hub. Now leaving biomedical module. Man, I don't know. I don't know what's up with Unknown Worlds. You would think after having such a successful game, it's like, seriously, just duplicate that one. That's all you have to do, but... Well, that's bullshit. Wait. How did Orange Team get higher? Because blue team was 32 to 30 when we started. I did 1 for the orange to bring it up to... Or was it 29 to 32? I think I brought it up to 30. I don't know what's going on there. Odin, are you playing basketball? Okay, cryogenics. Still access denied, but we're gonna go there eventually. What is this stuff? Medicine. This wasn't here before. Nausea due to microgravity. And they've been, well, they haven't been broken, but I don't see the little tablets inside. Are we, did we just mess up on that? What about you? Oh, no, okay, you know what? We did. We saw the nausea bag. We didn't do anything with that other... I don't know if we knew about it. But, engineering access. Why couldn't we do that first? Because the story demands that we go to the other ones first. That's fine. That is okay. Venturous Belt. Orbital Vacation Bungalows. 0 distractions. Yeah, that's not going to happen anymore now that that bill passed. Or didn't pass. Now entering engineering module. Abilities? Allies? Question mark. What does that mean? So here is a... I guess that's a stretcher. 2 engineering. No little flashy thing right there, but there's one. And you hear the water just everywhere. Let's get this started. See if we get any new messages while we're at it. Let's see. Inbound message. Yes. Personnel complete. Biomed complete. Engineering 0.1%. Almost there. Be careful with that Odin brain. Crap it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Be careful with that Odin brain. It has more mental processing power than Luxembourg. Okay, I don't know what that means. Seriously, though, don't drop it. This is H again. Okay, bye. Bye. Network technology, we can't get into there yet. Maybe never. We are going to be able to get into there, though. Right? Net Tech Wing. And, 2. So these 2...
So with regards to art direction, when we originally conceived of the station, we were talking about wall colors for each of the wings.
Okay.
And we wanted each wing to be the color of the crew member who lived in it. So, you know, Evie's...
Oh, that makes sense.
So originally the kitchen was as a nice purple color, and the wing you're standing in now, in engineering, would be orange to match Bert, etc. But 6 colors is a lot of colors. And so in the interest of simplicity, we chose just one central color for each of the 3 wings. And they're not particularly tied to any character. They're just, you know, nice to look at or evoked a nice feeling. So green for personnel, blue for biomed, and an industrial-ish orange for engineering. Paring things down or opting for simplicity is something that I, as an art person, I found I rarely regret. And especially as it pertains to player flow, the idea of having 6 different colors, I could see how that would get confusing after a while. And so we sort of opted to go the way that we did, and I think that it really helps with regards to landmarking. You know, you realize you're in the same wing, and then you'll traverse to a different wing, and it's a different color, and you know you're in a different area. So I'm glad that we sort of simplified things the way we did.
Me too. Me too. Additionally, like stuff like the medical wing, you would not want to have red. That's something I learned about at a previous job where, you know, the hospital walls and stuff, you'll see sometimes they paint them pink and you're like, what are you doing? Because they're not supposed to be pink. Any red spectrum paint on hospital walls especially reminds people of blood. And you don't want that in a hospital because it freaks people out. So typically you want to go with calming colors like, greens or blues or maybe some purples, because purple is blue and red you want to avoid. So greens and blues are good. Yellow is a bit too feminine, generally speaking, whereas greens and... You're going to see green, generally speaking. Maybe some blue. Or more neutral colors. But when they talked about, like, the industrial orange, I think that's, makes sense.
The reason we made the sync device functionality be so, like, obscured to the player was because early in development we were having trouble with, like, progression systems and, like, keys and locks, and people getting too focused in on locks that we were setting up in the game and sort of ignoring the story to find passwords and stuff. So the sync device was sort of a solution for us to have a gating system, but one that the player didn't feel like they needed to, like, spend all their time paying attention to, because the idea is that it's like almost like a USB stick where you're downloading stuff, and that's the kind of thing that just takes time and that you don't have to pay attention to, and people generally know that, who use computers know that kind of paradigm. So that was sort of like the original idea for why the sync device is sort of this, like, obscure thing that's just, like, downloading away. Why we're not, like, having you have to keep track of, like, every single little thing you're doing and how it affects the percentage. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's just about, like, you exploring space and not having to worry about it.
The hope is that you stand in front of it and you plug the sync device in and you watch it tick slowly to 0.1 and then you're like, oh, well, no, I'm gonna go look at other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, they are spot on. That is almost exactly what I did. I watched it 0.1, 0.2. I'm like, well, oh, geez, 2.8, 2.9. Woo, we're making progress now. Let's go do something else. But I also figure, it's a little obscure, but at the same time, if you go and you watch the AR scenes, it probably jumps it up by 20% or so. Because what you don't want at the same time is to, like, I'd be interested to know if you could sit here and just watch the thing finish. Right? Or, like, could you watch it and just then be like, okay, bye, let's I don't want to do all the AR shit. Let's just go. But what if you go and you do the AR stuff and you don't listen to all the commentary and you come back and you're like, oh, hey, I just left a second ago and it's already at 79% or whatever, I don't know. That's just my random thoughts. Okay. Operation Moonshot status board. Recoverable AR crew captured 18 hours ago. Holy shit. Okay. Maybe what? Allies, maybe?
I'll catch up with you. Okay.
Wait, there's still...
Earlier, when you decided to withhold information.
Okay, we gotta get this. Okay. 18 hours ago, they were still walking around. Evie and Cryo, is this the current status or the status as of this recording? Evie and Cryo, Clive and Cryo, Nat manual control software ready, installing into drone. Andrew and Cryo, Bert, drone life support manual control hardware ready. Wow, good work. Powering up drone, standing by as medical support for Cryo procedures. Odin doing AI stuff. Margaret Catwood probably sleeping somewhere. Go team. Let's recover the desktop. Let's see. Ventura's Physician Oversight Council. I write to inform you of my mindset in the case this crew does not survive the incident aboard Tacoma. I'm fully aware crew member Kuroshenko's medical scans indicate her chances of survival once subjected to cryostasis are minimal. However, blank. More humane for Miss Kuroshenko to expire peacefully in cryosleep than to asphyxiate on a dead station. Agreed. No, this was my own decision, made of sound mind. I take all responsibility. For better or worse. So she's taking responsibility for this one, probably because they asked her, they tried to fuck her over on that previous one. Failed. From Andrew. Hi, Sarah. You said take my time to let you know when we're ready to go to cryo, but I'm ready now. If I'm doing this thing, it doesn't make sense to waste any more oxygen dragging my feet. I sent out a message to everybody who's left awake. But I just wanted to thank you for your patience and guidance and your discretion when I wasn't sure about things. I know lots of people in your shoes would have said, fuck this guy, I don't have time for this, and sicked the station admin on me, but I really appreciate your caring, even if I know that really I was just trying to fight the inevitable. But I guess maybe that's what we're all doing. I guess we'll see. Thanks for being my friend. Really? That's it? I'm headed to cryo now. See you there. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. From that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when one has shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. Right, that is, was that Macbeth? Or Hamlet? That sleep of death, what dreams may come, when one has shuffled off. To sleep, to dream. To die, to sleep, to take up arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. That's the beginning part. To be or not to be, that is the question. For 'tis nobler in the minds of man to take up arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. Or something. You know how long it's been? It's been a long time. I believe that's Hamlet, though. But it's, yeah, it's, you know, death. It's sleep or die, right? Sarah Bird is making fun of me because my parents were hippies and never got me gene filter before I was born. Well, yeah. So she's the child of an anti-vaxxer. And yeah, so all you anti-vaxxers, fuck you. Like, seriously, the measles outbreak that's going on now? What the hell, man? I mean, thankfully, like, I mean, we have modern medicine, right? But vaccines are part of that modern medicine. And so because of that, people aren't going to die from the measles. Some still might, you know? Some still might. But without modern medicine, like without serious hospitalization and getting pumped full of chemicals and stuff, it's, what is it, like a 30% fatality rate, maybe higher? So, you know, that's it. I'm sorry, Nat, lots of parents don't get their children gene filtered, sometimes for religious reasons, sometimes because they're hippies, almost every time because they're ignorant. How's work going on the drone? Or arrogant. I guess arrogant, because if you're ignorant, you can be taught. But if you don't want to know, if you're willfully ignorant, that's a different matter. How's work going on the drone? Sorry, Doc, really focused on this Bert making fun of me thing right now. When's the last time you slept? That's beside the point. Is that all of it? Was this 18 hours ago? It doesn't really tell you. You assume it's live, but who knows? Okay, so there's 3 still alive. Or awake. Holy crap, 22 minutes? Are you serious? Yeah, we are not going to watch the whole thing. How about that? Let us... Okay, where are we at? All the different stuff. We will get the first 2, and then we'll pause and...
Natalie, about her medical scans. That was to avoid causing her undue stress.
Right.
What if you were unable to make that choice? If you had no choice?
Odin?
I would like to take this opportunity to remind you that Standard Venturas Corporation safety protocol requires all crew to enter cryogenic sleep immediately upon the loss of primary oxygen supply.
True.
As Tacoma Station's medical officer, it is within your power to order all crew to enter cryogenic sleep.
Odin, Nat and Bert are right in the middle of... Oh no.
Sarah, there is a fire suppression device.
Okay, we are gonna rewind real fast because... Okay. Where is Natalie? Presumably the drone bay. Obviously not through here. Although, what is this? Nat and Bert's place. If the bunks are rocking, don't come a knocking. If it's not rocking, please knock loudly here. If the curtain's closed. Wow. So they make all sorts of noise, apparently. Don't inquire. Just, alright. Let's see, is this the right place? Oh, hey, yep, okay. Yep, there's, wait, is this, can we go through here? Yes. Makes sense. Yes, the drone is here. Everything's effed up. This is only 18 hours. So let's get her, desktop. Ensures automated delivery drone. No human entry. Yeah, that thing's permanently scuttled, I would say. So they're all potentially hosed. Are they all in cryostasis? That's the question. Okay. 3 out of 6 cryopods occupied. So Andrew went in. Oxygen supply approximately 20 hours. Captured 18 hours ago. So there is still oxygen. There's 2 hours left. Although, you know, at this point, we're about 6 hours in, 7 hours in. So, yeah. Okay, complete a revision, 3 point whatever, of the manual drone based upon your specifications, and 92.8% chance of successfully integrating with the drone's existing systems with no further complications. That'll have to do. You got it ready to slot? Yes, I've loaded the code package in the manual transfer injector dongle, and thanks, mate, we'll come grab it and be on my way. Failed. But it's so irresponsible. My parents loved me. They were just hippies. It's normal. I'm going to ask Sarah. She says normal. You have to stop making fun of me. When's the last time you slept? Why do people keep asking me that? She is crazy. It is also not normal. But that's, you know, the gene therapy thing is very Brave New World-ish. Although, let's be honest, if you could upgrade me before I was born, that would be cool. You know, to all crew, good night. To die, to sleep no more. And by sleep, we say to end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. I don't remember that line, but it's probably true. Sleep perchance to dream. I'm off to sleep for now and will wish for pleasant dreams. Dreams of the success I'm sure you'll bring us, Nat, Bert, and Sarah. I wish there were more I could do, but for now, good luck. Okay, so... and this is where they all freak out. Do we want to watch this? Right, so she runs off here. Let's just rewind it the whole way. Where's this one? Where's the orange one? Oh, there she is. Okay.
You gonna need any help with that power cell hookup? Okay, great. This'll only take a minute.
Wait, hang on. What did she say?
Test the connection.
Okay, great.
No.
The connection.
Okay, great.
Nah, I'm good. I'm hooked in. Gonna test the connection.
Okay, great. This'll only take a minute.
Power cell showing green. How's yours look, baby?
Voltage adapter in place. Ready to rock.
Hit it.
Oh, jeez. Are they both down? Also, she got there really, really fast. Well, this is a good place to stop, I guess. They both got blown back. Actually, that explains a lot, right? Because they have the foam, or reminds me of that stuff in Demolition Man that fills the car when it's about to explode, the Bakelite or whatever. Yeah, so they both get blown back. And if you get launched that far back, you're hurt. You were hurt very badly. Very badly. Okay. So we'll just stop right here. We'll just pause. We have a lot of these to do left. A lot. But we've seen, I don't know, probably half, to be honest. So well, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. I really do appreciate it. We'll just have to wait and see what happens next time. I want to keep playing, but, you know, I want to limit these to an hour. So at least they're nice and quote-unquote short, I suppose. Questions, comments, concerns, good, bad, indifferent, let me know. Any, just any comments. Just write them. It's all good. It's all good. What is your guys' unique positive moment for today? For me, it's actually about these little, like, I don't know if they're puffed corn cakes or little tiny rice cakes or whatever. You know the type, it's like, they're almost like chips, but they're little rice cakes. And they, but I bought like the store brand, and it came with, it was kind of awesome because I opened the bag, and the bag is like totally full. Probably because they're so light. You know, chips, the bag will be, you know, half to 75% air, and all the chips are like at the bottom. This thing was full of the actual little rice cake things. That was awesome. That's awesome. So that's my unique positive moment for today. Hopefully your guys is just as good, if not better. Hopefully better, of course. And I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, guys, take care.